Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is teacher Ilona Smith, and today we're dealing with topic 3 for the grade 11s, which is adapting to the challenges in the business environments. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so in chapter 1, we looked at the influences in all the different environments. Chapter 2, we dealt with all the challenges that it may possess. Now we're looking at how can we adapt to these challenges presented in chapter 2. Let's get started. Alright, so we'll be looking at the ways in which we can adapt, ways in which a business has a direct influence, and then lobbying, networking, and power relations. This is the book that I've made use of for the content in this video today, including the slides as well. I take no credit for the information given in the slide. The purpose of my videos is to educate learners and help provide explanation to the content that they are given. This book you can download for free on the Western Cape Education Department website. I will add it in the link description below, and you'll see it as resources at the end of my slides. Introduction. Businesses are faced with various challenges emanating from both the internal and external environments. Like I've dived into with my previous videos, internal, remember that's inside the business, so we're looking at micro. External, we're looking at market and macro. The success of a business will depend on the ability to adapt to these challenges. Businesses need to put measures in place that could assist with minimizing these effects of the challenges. So in this topic, we're going to deal with adapting to the challenges. So, ways in which a business can adapt to the challenges in the business environments. When looking at information technology, IT, businesses need to implement an effective information management system that is accessible and useful to all members of staff. The information must be found, recorded, stored, and easily retrieved and effectively used. Large capital should be invested into IT systems to update business operations. So recently I've gone for a lot of training as a teacher. I've gone for a lot of training, and what I've come to notice with these training sessions, so I attended the SIP training, the SIP for grade 12s, the training on how to give the SIP classes and tips and tricks. I've also attended the induction of new teachers training, which I should have done a little while ago, but you know what, let's tick the box. And one thing I've noticed with these trainings is that the facilitators from the department are using the QR codes a lot, which I found was very interesting. So most of the time we do a pre-test, we register, and we do a post-test. And the nice thing is it's either done through Google Forms or they actually do it through Office, Microsoft Office on the forms. And they create the QR code, and then as the users, we then go and scan this QR code and we can have access to the form. We fill out this form and then they receive all the responses. So this is also a very nice way that businesses can make use of systems like this. It's something, it seems so small, but it's actually quite effective and it works very, very well. So for example, if a business is looking at brainstorming and they need to come up with new ideas, perhaps there's a problem that the business is facing, then what they can do is they can create this Google form, get all the staff members to fill it out in 5 minutes, and then they can collect all the responses. And the nice thing is I use Google Forms for my honors degree when I was doing my research. The nice thing is from these Google Forms, they actually give you graphs. So if you've given the staff different options, as in solutions, you can actually see on a pie chart how many have selected which option, and that forms very great data that you can use in the business. And it's just a small IT system. There are better systems to use as well. But the nice thing about this is instead of getting everyone in the business in a staff meeting to fill out this form, you give them a time frame. Tell them in the next 2 to 3 days they need to fill out this form. They can fill it out on their lunch break. They can fill it out maybe if they're someone's driving them home and they're sitting in traffic. They can fill it out as they get home early in the morning. So it becomes a lot more accessible because, as we all know, we live very busy lives, and this is trying to adapt to those busy lives. Modern IT systems enable businesses to satisfy customer needs more efficiently. The business may then benefit from an increase in market share and profitability. Then looking at strategic responses. Strategic responses refers to how a business will respond to both the challenges internally and externally by putting in proper plans. Management needs to design strategic responses to various challenges by analyzing all information and identifying the stakeholders that are involved. Businesses must have a clear understanding of each stakeholder's viewpoint and requirements. Businesses need to be aware of new competitors in the market and be able to strategically respond to their existence. Businesses must develop strategic plans to remain sustainable in a competitive market. Effective strategic responses assist businesses to identify, minimize, and eliminate these challenges. Now, an interesting one. We're looking at mergers, takeovers, acquisitions, and alliances. Just a quick exam tip. They do like to ask the comparisons between these four. They might ask you just mergers and takeovers, or just alliances and mergers, whatever the case is, but they often like to ask you to differentiate between the four of them. So it's good for you to find, first of all, examples on each of them, and then secondly, to find the differences between them and try to not confuse them, because that's often where students get, a bit taken back in exams. So businesses sometimes need to make quick decisions to ensure their survival when they are faced with challenges from the business environments. They may implement mergers, takeovers, acquisitions, and alliances as solutions in order to respond to these challenges. So mergers. This occurs when two companies join together, usually by agreement, to form one new business. There are a few keywords here that'll help you remember it. So the first one is, it's two companies together, and the most important thing is forming one new business. So they're actually coming together, the two different businesses. Let's say, for argument's sake, we have A and B hardware and you have C hardware. Okay, just bear with me for lack of example. And they make a new business called A, B, and C hardware. But now it's a complete new business. The other two businesses have now fallen away, so it's the two coming together to create a new business. Emerged businesses will share their resources, which could lead to more growth and sustainability. Perhaps both businesses were struggling equally alone. Now forming together, they have those extra resources, they have their extra knowledge, and then they can get that extra competitive advantage. If it is a public company though, then the shareholders will swap their shares in one company for the equivalent value of the shares in the newly emerged company. Now, takeovers. A takeover occurs when one business takes control of another business through majority ownership of its shares. Sometimes this process will be against the other business's will. It can happen when one business buys out the shares of another, or until the first business has the controlling interest. So takeover, it's literally a business taking over another business. That's the way I remember it. So just a funny way to remember it is, if you guys work in Excel, you've got all your different rows and columns and cell blocks. Okay. If you take two of them, there is actually a feature called merge, which makes them one. So that's a way to remember it. For those that take CAT and IT, for those that don't, go and just Google and research. If you take two block cells and you merge them, it becomes one new block cell. So that is mergers. Takeover is I'm literally taking it over from you. So it now becomes mine. Acquisitions. This happens when a business buys another business at an agreed price. The acquired business often continues to operate as a subsidiary of the acquired business. It usually occurs to businesses that are not listed on the JSE. So acquisition comes from the word acquire. So I'm now acquiring your company. But remember, often the acquired business continues to operate as a subsidiary. There's a key word there to remember. Then alliances. Alliances refer to an agreement between businesses with common visions, and they work together for the benefit of all. Organizations with similar interests, nature, goals could choose to work together for the mutual benefits. Alliances make it possible for businesses to be more competitive and better be able to respond to challenges. The businesses remain separate, but merely they cooperate with one another. So alliances, the way I remember it, is in gaming you've got an ally. So it's like your buddy, it's like your friend. A lot of the times, a lot of countries, if there's war, they will become an ally to another country. So we are an alliance. We're two businesses merely working together. So we keep our names, we keep our businesses. In no way are we forming one. Do you see the confusion here? So that's often the confusion, is a merger. I'm literally two businesses becoming a whole new business. Alliance, we are two businesses that are just working together. We still have our names and we still remain separate. We just see we could work together and we can actually create that competitive advantage like I mentioned. Now, practical examples of mergers, takeovers, acquisitions, and alliances. Now, just remember, according to an essay, it has to be within the last 2 years, which you can see with the dates this isn't. So merely use this as an example in order to remember the information rather than using it in originality. Because remember, originality has been the last 2 years. All right, so Vodafone and Mansman's merger. This merger took place in the 2000s and was worth over $180 billion and is the largest merger deal in history. Okay, Vodafone and Mansman merger. Vodacom and Neotel takeover. Vodacom acquired 100% of the issued shares and capital and shareholder loans against Neotel for a total cash consideration of $7 billion in 2015. MTN and AfriHost acquisition. MTN bought up 50% of AfriHost shares and left the current AfriHost shareholder with the remaining 50%. Vodacom and Neotel. After months of speculation and all but absolute certainty, Vodacom officially confirmed its acquisition of fixed-line operator Neotel in May 2014. Then we have organizational design and flexibility. Organizational design describes how a business is structured, how it communicates its culture, and it focuses on ensuring that the structure of the business is aligned with its objectives. It involves the process of integrating people, information, and technology within an organization to improve efficiency. Businesses need to be flexible in their organizational designs so they can adapt easily to challenges of the business environments. The management structure of a business should reflect its environmental conditions that the business experiences. Then the direct influence on the environment and social responsibility. Businesses need to investigate alternative environmentally friendly production techniques and create environmental awareness. Businesses can form joint ventures with other businesses and the government to protect the environment through conservation and preservation. Businesses also need to implement sustainable CSI programs in order to improve the communities in which they operate in. Ways in which the business can have a direct influence on the environment. Businesses need to be flexible by getting involved in research, development, so that they can continue to operate. They can influence their suppliers by signing long-term contracts for their raw materials at fixed prices. They can influence their customer base by creating new uses for a product, taking customers then away from their competitors, finding new customers, and convincing them that they have this need for this new product. They can influence regulators through lobbying and bargaining, and can influence their owners using information contained in annual reports. A nice example of the influencing customers and creating new needs for a product is you get this vacuum/mop robot. I don't know what it's called. It's a circular thing. The adult in me is dying to have one. But anyway, so this has now created a new use. Instead of people traditionally going to Verimark and buying mops and brooms and vacuums, they're now just buying this robotic mop, which sweeps your house, effectively vacuuming your house. And then on the flip side, it's also mopping your house. And the nice thing about it is it's remote controlled. I've even seen, obviously you get different types of them, but you even get ones that they will actually pick up when the floor is getting dirty, right? And they will then clean the floor. So your vacuum mop robot will pick up that the floor is becoming dirty because it's been, let's say, 2-3 days and there's a lot of pet hair, and it'll then go and mop and vacuum your house. And this can be done when you're at home. So it saves time because you don't have to mop and vacuum the house. You just set it. And also it's got a little charging station and it cleans itself on its charging station. So can you see the new use for this product? People now, okay, obviously it's quite expensive, so not everyone, which is why I don't have one. But now we don't have the need for mops and vacuums and even the likes of brooms, even the little dustpan. So there's just something to think about and ponder on about. And just again, coming back to technology, seeing how technology has improved and advanced. Projects that can be undertaken by businesses as part of social responsibility. Businesses have a responsibility to become more socially responsible by giving back to communities. A business code of conduct should take into consideration the norms and values of communities in which it operates. When a business commits to environmental and social responsibilities, it will deliver a triple bottom line, which includes planet, people, and profit. Please make sure you know what the triple bottom line is. It's those three. It's a nice little short question that they like to just squeeze in there. And because it's part of this information, you might just oversee it. Very important. People, profit, planet. The 3 Ps, triple bottom line. So here are some projects below. So businesses must allow employees to get involved in social development programs. Businesses must protect the environment and participate in community upliftment programs. There's often times I've seen in the community where a business will actually organize a cleanup. So that's how they're giving back. They're actually organizing, like cleaning up the area and picking up all the litter and all the garbage. That's a way to give back to the community. Engage in environmentally friendly programs such as recycling or reusing of scarce materials. Businesses must support the less fortunate by providing donations to charity organizations. This can also engage in economic development and provide education on HIV/AIDS awareness programs. Then what are the benefits? So now we're getting involved. What are the benefits for us getting involved? There's an increase in employees' morale and job satisfaction when they are involved in social responsibility programs. I'll say, I don't know how you guys feel, but I always have this really good feeling if I've done something good for someone or I've been able to help them Or during December, we recently moved, hence you'll see there's a different background. And there was a lot of stuff to get rid of, and there's a lot of decluttering to do. And it was sad to let go of that stuff, but you know how good I felt and how light I felt afterwards, donating to a charity that looks after children, and I could be able to make their day and support them and help that charity. It made me feel so good, and the employees will have this morale as well. I know years ago, I worked for a company. We went to go and paint an orphanage. So we went to this orphanage and we painted the walls, and we put cute little butterfly stickers on, and we even painted, you get this chalk paint, we painted a whole wall with this chalk paint so the kids could then, have a wall of chalk where they could just scribble and do their doodles. And I can tell you, I felt really good after that. And I know a lot of the staff members that were working with me at that time also felt really good, and it was really uplifting seeing all the kids run in and see their new playroom, and how just a fresh coat of paint does a lot, and it made us all feel good. And I know for weeks thereafter, even months thereafter, we kept on talking about this and how good we felt about it. So there's just, from my experience, that I've physically seen this happen in real life. Businesses can use CSR and CSI projects as a marketing strategy to promote their products. CSI helps to attract investors because there's increased profits and income. It promotes customer loyalty, resulting in more sales. It's always good for customers to see that, this company is giving back and this company cares about the community and the environment. It means a lot to customers. It may attract experienced employees, increase the pool of skilled labor, which could then increase the productivity because it's creating exposure. Maybe people didn't know about this company. Now they're hearing all the good it's doing. Everybody now wants to flock to work for this company. Positive and improved image as the business looks after employees, responsibly conducts itself. A business may have a competitive advantage, resulting in good publicity and an improved reputation, like I said. The business enjoys the goodwill and supports the community. Now we're looking at lobbying, networking, and power relations. Again, they like to confuse these three. They'd like to ask you the difference. Seen this in an essay question, highlighted, NB, important, please. Okay. So lobbying. Lobbying is an organized process where individuals or businesses and organizations use their influence to change government policy. It is done by various people with similar motives, beliefs, and commercial positions. It involves an attempt by a business to try and influence situations to meet their specific needs and activities. Businesses try to influence legislation or the government's decision-making process. So I always look at, in business, you must try to create, little rhymes, little funny things. That's what you'll see in my videos. Have all these little funny things to remember because it helps. I know business is a lot of content. It's a lot of information. But if you can remember little rhymes and stuff, it definitely makes it easier. So lobbying reminds me of buddies and buddying. So if I am lobbying with someone, they're almost my buddy. Think about if, here's a nice example. You're teaching a class and perhaps this class doesn't want to get the homework that you've given them. So they just feel, ma'am, give us 2-3 extra days, it would be nice. But if one student comes, what difference is it going to make? Probably not much. The teacher's going to say, this is the date for the homework. It is what it is. They've given you an essay and you have 2 days to complete it, for argument's sake. Anyway, but now 5 students come to your table and say, listen, ma'am, we have English homework to do. We're writing a maths paper tomorrow and we've got life science revision to do. For example, is there a way that you can maybe give us 4 days to complete this essay? And if it's not done by those 4 days, then obviously the consequences, demerits, and all that will roll out. Okay, fine. Now do you see the difference? 1 student versus 5 students. What have the students done? They've all buddied up, lobby. They've lobbied together to try and change the teacher's decision. Teacher being the government for this example. But can you see how that works? So that's all that these companies are doing. They're literally just buddying up together to go to the government and say, listen, we would like this law or this legislation to be adapted, changed, or perhaps even removed. So now you ask yourself, okay, why do businesses lobby? Very nice question. So they lobby with their regulator or supervisory body to try and influence either prices, policies, regulations, decision-making made by the regulator or supervisory body. Businesses or people lobby to try and change laws like the child labor laws, clean air and water laws, and municipal regulations. The views of lobby groups are important and make a difference by giving solutions to businesses' challenges. Lobbying advances what the business must deliver on, and it builds public trust. Lobbying helps to find solutions to emerging generic challenges. And this one's a bit of a repeat. It advances a cause and builds public trust. Now, types of lobbying. How can we lobby? So we have hedging against inflation. Hedging is a method that businesses try to use and reduce the risk when they are unsure about a possible price increase. Businesses use hedging to protect their financial investments and by spreading the risks. So for example, they invest surplus funds so that its value grows at a faster rate than inflation does. They can hedge against inflation by investing their surplus assets or money in investments with intrinsic value, for example, gold, oil, or property. Businesses use hedging by buying bonds, shares, property, or buying precious materials like gold to protect capital from the effects of inflation. Continuing, bargaining sessions between management and unions. These sessions enable business employees to negotiate and employers as a group to protect the employees' rights and prevent labor strikes. Businesses must make sure that their representatives are trained and skilled to negotiate on their behalf. The purpose of bargaining sessions is to find a win-win situation for all parties. Management will try to convince the union to accept its proposal, and the union will try to persuade management to accept the demands. The outcome of a successful bargaining session can protect the business from the negative impact of strikes and the loss in productivity. Businesses need to be fair, transparent, and establish good trust and good communication with unions. Then the third one, influencing supervisory bodies and regulators. Another nice question. They might ask you to outline the three types of lobbying, which will be these three. Remembering, outline is name and explain. So, there is a large number of supervisory bodies and regulators who operate within the business. Businesses take an active role in professional bodies. Through their membership, advocacy, and submissions, they may be able to influence changes to existing regulations. Business managers are involved in debates and discussions that shape their public policies. Businesses influence and negotiate with these regulators to protect their sustainability. It is in the best interest of a business to adhere to the guidelines and restrictions of these bodies in order to stay in business. Specifically, if you are in the food industry, food, cold drink, anything that's consumption-wise, if there are certain regulations, make sure that you're adhering to those, otherwise it could cause problems. Then we're moving on to networking. Networking refers to a coordinated activity where people who have similar objectives meet and exchange information and ideas. A nice example of networking that I've recently experienced is the SIP training I mentioned earlier in the video that I've went for. There are teachers all coming together, business studies teachers from all different schools coming together to do this training. We can all network, bounce off each other's ideas, give each other advice. So that's networking. I see networking in my mind as almost a bubble. And if you think of how neurons work with the brain, it all goes into different directions and connects at some points. That's exactly what I think networking is. Got all these different teachers or entrepreneurs, and then at some point they all connect and they all come together and to share information. So they'll come together and then they'll go their separate ways in order to create new pathways. So during a networking session, entrepreneurs can meet new people and build alliances with others. The goal of networking is to reach as many people as possible and to make every connection count. Businesses could become a member of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, professional business club, and informal social groupings to meet new contacts. Networking assists in acquiring new business leads. It benefits the business by helping to identify best practices, and it helps the business to identify new business trends. So practical examples of networking. You have formal networking. So this is an organized local, provincial, or national chamber of the business, industry, or commerce. Informal is like a social setting that's less organized and in coordination. So for example, we can network with business managers. They often network while playing golf, attending sporting events, or getting involved in social programs. Social media and the internet. New and cheap ways for businesses to network is via forums and business chat rooms. A very, very good one for entrepreneurs is LinkedIn, because there they can see what type of business you're in and you can perhaps discuss and work together and share ideas. What are the advantages of networking? So businesses can attract new customers, resulting in increased market share and profitability. Networking can become an excellent source or new perspective and business ideas. Allows managers to build new business relations and generate new business opportunities. It plays a role in marketing and expansion of a business, and it assists businesses in making future business decisions. Businesses can gain support with representation to various authorities in planning. Then we have power relations, the meaning of power relations. Power relations can be described as a measure of a business's ability to control its environment and the behavior of other businesses. Power relations exist in all relationships in society. When two or more businesses negotiate a transaction, one of them may be in the stronger position than the other one. The power that a business has on its environment determines the status that it holds within the industry. A business can form relationships with its environment and its markets. So, ways that we can form these. Strategic alliances or partnership agreements. Businesses form partnership agreements to benefit from each other's involvement. These partnership alliances help parties involved to benefit in the infrastructure, development, and scarce resources. These alliances are designed to build on the expertise of each partner and on how they can complement one another. So, continuing further ways, this is also a very nice question. Persuasion of large investors. If a business has a powerful investor, it can often benefit from the relationship by gaining credit more easily and negotiating better deals from suppliers. Businesses invite powerful, influential people to sit on the board of directors and gain valuable advice from these people. Having such a powerful person as part of a business may also have a positive influence on the reputation and image of the business. Company representatives' influence. Here's the third one. This representative fills an important function in persuading investors to invest in particular business practices. People may make decisions based on the company's image, personality, communication style, and power of persuasion. Businesses must invest time and energy to recruit the right person for this job. Then we've reached the end of the video. Here is just a nice little overview and a mind map of this chapter that we've been through. You are more than welcome to pause the video at this time and just jot this down. I, for one, love mind maps. I just think it's a nice overview, and it's a nice little image in order to see all the different headings. But you're more than welcome to take it down, take a picture, take a screenshot. If not, that's perfectly fine too. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, here are the resources that I've made use of. I mainly make use of the learner book, which I've showed in the beginning of the video. It's the Department of Education learner book. I just want to say thank you for watching this video today. And thank you for all the support that has been shown on my channel. I know grade 11s, there's not a lot of content out there for you on my channel, but we are busy building the database. So as you see, week by week, I'm building and I'm uploading the videos that you may need. I see that my videos for grade 11 are doing quite well, so I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the support, and I love hearing the comments and the feedback. It's so awesome to me to see the impact that my videos are having and to know that it's helping lots of students out there. So please do continue to support my channel, and just know that I'm very grateful and appreciative of every view, every like, and every subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.